Welcome to my next daily video. I'm actually stranded right now on the side of the highway because there's this causeway that we have to drive across and it's closed due to high winds. So I figured I'd hit record and just make a video here for my audience. Didn't really have anything planned or any topic in mind. We'll just go with it right off the top, like most of the stuff I create on here. And yes, I am still doing this job currently. The time of doing this type of work is coming to an end. There is only a few weeks left. When the exact date that I'm going to be done in here, I don't know. But I have faith and the trust that better things are coming. And I didn't really lose the faith when I was brought to me that I have to stay out here an extra week or two, when really at the beginning I thought maybe I would be at my next career or job by now. It's not something I need to dwell on. I dwell on how I feel in here, not about what's being projected to me from out there. And when you continue with the feeling in here, like everything is good, what gets reflected to you by out there will match up with it. And when it doesn't, you create the boundary that I don't allow that in my field, and I don't allow myself to believe that is true. What I believe is true is that I feel peace and love for the present moment, and that I am running my life in the most successful way that I see fit, so that I can teach my audience to do the same. Now, I want to make today's video about when people in our lives are not healthy for us, and what we choose to do with those feelings when there's someone in our life that continues to reflect energy to us from our past. Very toxic, negative energy. And you can't do much about it. Like, for example, someone mentioned yesterday on a video that they live with a narcissist, so how are they supposed to be able to deal with this kind of stuff? Well, first off, I feel your pain. Dealing with a narcissist can be very, very troubling and difficult, especially if it's your significant other, wife or husband. That can be very tough because you're enrolled in a commitment with that person. The only thing I could say to that would be to try to learn the separation of tasks. And whenever these attacks happen on your character, or the blame, they blame you for everything when you try to bring up a boundary or something that doesn't make you feel good. To try to just separate yourself from how that's making you feel, what they are blaming on you, knowing that it's not true. And that the love, the compassion, the peace you feel for life, that is what's true. And when you start to connect with those feelings, you will want to give love to this significant other in the form of respect and speaking to them in a calm way. But knowing you can't control or manipulate or get the results that you want, and you're going to have to just be at peace with that. They continue to treat you that way. If it's an extremely poisonous relationship where there's abuse going on, or some shaming, some cheating, that may be some type of unhealthy relationship situations that you may need to make some tough decision in moving on from that. Only you can decide that. I don't know each one of you's situations. But with the separations of tasks, there comes a time where their attacks, especially if you didn't provoke them, it's not going to fly with you anymore. You're not going to be made felt small. Like, you're not smaller than this person. And a lot of that has to do with the psychology of the way that we think and everything we went through in the past. And we need to be a certain way for them to not react to us in a certain way. Then there's a fear there of saying the wrong thing. When you think like that, you suppress a lot of that. That's where diseases come from. Not you being able to open up and release. When you can release how you actually feel and get it out of you, it feels a whole lot better. And when you separate the tasks that it's not your job to make them feel okay, you can then speak your truth. That is where you connect with the spirituality. That is where you connect with your power and your I am that is power to you by God. That this person's tension is not yours to fix. And if they're going to have a bad attitude towards you and towards this relationship, yes, there could be some stuff that you are willing to work with them on, but you don't have to fix every single thing about them or this relationship. That takes teamwork. And if they're blaming everything that's wrong in that relationship on you, that is something from their programming. They're living in fear. And the way that they react when they feel fear is to blame others. And that is something from their past programming from when they were younger. When you can start to bring awareness to this type of relationship, you allow them to just be who they are and don't try to change them. You know, when you're being made felt like that, the only way that you can change this whole situation is going deep inside of your own heart, your own mind. Knowing that there's some programming that's making you have that polarity within that relationship. And that this big change that could come between you and this narcissistic partner will start with you doing the work on yourself. And getting into these arguments, trying to fight for their approval. That's all stuff that you can put an end to when you let go of fear and guilt and shame for you wanting to voice your actual opinion on what's good and not good for you. And if this person is not good for you, you're going to have to set boundaries. And if they don't meet those boundaries, you're going to have to move on from that person. And if you choose not to, you're just going to continue to get spiraled back into this feeling like the victim, feeling like you're never good enough. And they will continue to reflect that energy back to you in an aggressive way, especially narcissists. And they will blame you. They will make you feel inadequate. They will make you feel unloved. Seen but unheard, like they don't want to hear your side of the story. That is all programming that comes from our past, and it does live on through our adult relationships. But know that there is a better life for you, and it all starts with your mindset. And that's why I became a mindset coach, is to help people through these tough relationships with people. And I make these relationship videos on here and my Instagram. And it's not to trigger you, belittle you, or make you feel small. My goal here with the channel is to empower you. So you have the tools to start to apply this stuff to your own life and start to do the work on your own body and mind here. So you can start to live with more love, live in higher states of consciousness, which would actually attract to you better results. And that how this person acts towards you is not going to make or break the happiness within, because Yes, we love to have great relationships around us. But when you get on this level with your state of consciousness, you learn to live with the acceptance that they're going to be that way no matter what you do. And if they want to keep living in the negative and wanting to fight with you, you're not going to engage with that kind of stuff. You're going to take your power back. Separate the tasks and know that their tension is not yours to fix. Do the work on yourself. Separate yourself. Like doing the inner frame technique. You don't need to take on how other people feel about you, especially when it's negative. Even when it's positive. You could just be in your own body. Be comfortable. Know that you're an attractive human being. You have great qualities. You have great things to contribute to this relationship. You're willing to do the work with it, but they need to do it in a respectable manner. And when you get on this level, you will voice it in a way that's non-aggressive. You change your attitude. But when they try to trigger you, learn to be aware of it. That used to piss me off. Tell yourself, I'm not going to go back down that road. You're going to be willing to do what it takes to make this relationship work, but without abandoning yourself, without abandoning the real you that could actually speak your truth and create the reality that you deserve on the outside. But it all starts with changing your attitude on the inside and what you think the world around you is, what you think is the truth. And that starts with what you assume to be true. So I thank you for watching this one, and we'll see you on tomorrow's video.